for example, just give me a call. But more serious stuff is Katie's ears. She's the proactive one. It's just that she's pretty busy right now. Telling the expenses, planning the budget, you know. And when Katie is busy, it's honestly pretty hard to get her attention. Oh, but I just thought of something. You know what she loves? Making all sorts of potions, tinctures, and spirits. That's what. Can't really understand why, but she's quite into the chemistry stuff. Come up to her and tell her that I sent you to try out her latest... tincture? That way you'll get a free drink and also get to chat with her about stuff. Sly, huh? Pretty clever, methinks. Alright, thanks, and I'll go. Hold on, friend. Maybe you'd like to hear a little business proposal first. Alright. The matter is pretty simple. Small job. Really. What I need is for you to bring me this book I ordered. It's all the way in Krasnovarny. Abraham, the local book dealer, has it at his store. I can't go get it myself because of all the work around the bar. But I can see that you travel a lot. So if you ever find yourself in that city, maybe you can pick it up for me. And on your return, I'll compensate you for the trouble. Yeah, why not? Well, let's find out what the book is about. Well, see, there is this writer named Tolkien who lived in England, which was a country way back before the war. And he kind of wrote fairy tales for adults. You know, I should probably call it a science fiction or not. I'm not too good with genres. Doesn't matter, the book is about another world. Anywho, I always loved reading books, especially if they're about something extraordinarily, something fantastic. Where there's robots, a rings of Saturn, an ancient Greek myth, and all that kind of stuff. And then I was told that this Abraham in the city can get me this Tolkien's book. And with a special translation too. Anyway, I drove to the city and ordered it, but now that it's there, I can't find time to go back and pick it up. Alright, it's the deal. Wow, thank you so much. Here, it's the receipt for the book. Just show it to Abraham and he'll give it to you. Brother hands you a small square of thick paper. On it, written in formidable cursive, are the words, the owner of this document, Radchicki, VA, or his legal proxy may obtain a copy of The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien and translated to Russian by Vavar Z.A. after handing over the receipt signed. Alright, bye. Alright, let's talk to the girl. Alright, you might have something for me to girl. The girl stops her calculations and stares at you blankly. After a moment, she blinks, then she smiles and tucks the tiny pencil stub behind her right ear. I see. Well, that's great. I doubt you've ever drunk anything quite like it. It's a new recipe, you see. Well, not really new. More like forgotten by everyone. Wow. Really inclined to do so. The girl nods and shows you a darker, colder corner of the tavern. From behind the bar, she produces a clay bottle labeled with the letters XXX. Here, drink up. I will boldly drink it. You carefully take a tiny sip. The drink has a strange, sour taste. You shrug and hand the bottle back to the girl. You do not feel intoxicated, not even nauseous. You feel that you can take another sip. You take the bottle and have another. What harm can a few more sips do? Now your head starts to spin. Nothing scary about that, right? You even retain full sensation in your limbs like normal, but then you feel them floating in the air around you as if all the air had suddenly turned to water. Your mouth is very dry, so you wet it with another sip of the tonic. From someplace far away, you hear the girl calling to you, saying, "Don't do it!" But you already did. The world around you just stops. You also stop, but your mind races with thoughts that came with exceptional clarity and speed. Why are you here? Why am I here? Why did I drink this stuff? Why? The sound of your own thoughts seems to you like the roll of distant thunder, but it's getting nearer every second, and suddenly you understand that what you thought was thunder was actually footsteps. From out of the misty void, General Mordov appears before you. Are you looking for me? He asks, and his voice is like 100 voices in one. You cannot reply. You are frozen. Looking for me? Yeah, you're looking for me. And he takes your hand. Let's go. You walk through the dead gray mist together. Mordov in front of you, you falling behind. The general walks calmly And you don't have anything better to do than simply follow him. Finally, the mist parts before you, and a strangely beautiful sight appears before you. There are mushrooms here. A gigantic, unreal, primordial mushroom forest. Their huge trunks are thicker than the biggest oaks you've ever seen. Their tops obscure the sky like giant umbrellas. The general continues to lead you onward, weaving around the massive mushrooms. Your tour through a fantastic forest stops suddenly at a truly colossal mushroom, bigger than all else. This is God, says Mordov. But you can't see him anymore because he speaks from inside you. He speaks from your head, using your mouth. You are General Mordov. Suddenly the ground beneath your feet begins to shake and you almost lose your balance. It seems like an earthquake, but when the shaking stops, you look and scream. For the colossal mushroom now has a human face. Bow, orders the mushroom, and you fall senseless. Your mind turns off. You sleep for how many hours you don't know. After finally waking up, you do not feel any of the unusual symptoms of heavy drinking from the day before. Yeah. Oh, whew. He's alive, Vasily. He's alive. You see the girl holding you up so you don't fall on the floor. Your stability returns as the strange sensations of the tonic leave you completely. The bartender, swearing quietly, wipes the sweat from his brow. How are you feeling? Surprisingly well, actually. Quite the hearty concoction you turned out to have. Oh, constitution you turned out to have. I'm so sorry. I made the tonic too strong. How stupid of me. I nearly killed the man. I feel just terrible about all of this. Yeah. The girl lets out an exhale and gives you a smile. We took good care of your stuff while you slept. You check your belongings to discover that you have not been robbed. Miracles really do happen in life. I still don't understand why it turned out so strong. I used my grandfather's recipe that my grandmother recorded. She says, speaking mostly to herself. Okay, anyway, we need to have a talk. Got to be sure your brain completely recovered. Ah, that's a good idea. Can I ask you some questions? I'm listening. Tell me about the village. Let's start down there. It's a nice village. People are civil. Everyone works hard to keep things running. Yes, it's a good village. Too bad it's perishing. Criminals are keeping us down. We had 2 droughts in a row, and most of the young people have moved long ago. Only my brother and I stayed. You know, when we were kids, this was a thriving community filled with people. It's not like that nowadays, because long ago people had real purpose in life. Now they don't. The girl sighs and looks out the window at nearly empty Main Street. One thing keeps me from getting too sad. This trader by the name of Yoshin moved into the village. Now there's a proactive person. Even built his own store. Have you seen it? It's so funny to look at. He probably got the idea from some Western movie. But I think eventually this village will break him too. Probably turn him into an alcoholic or something. That's pretty sad. I'm listening. Tell me about yourself. I'm a lonely tavern keeper lost in the waste, waiting for my valiant knight to appear. She winks at you and laughs quietly. Hell, I don't have a horse, but I can still be quite valiant. She lifts her brow and looks at you with interest and an amused smile on her face. Oh, really? What's so special about you then? Ooh, we have options. Let's see. Let's move this out of the way. Well, I set goals for myself and then achieve them, which is really the only intelligent thing to do. Take my strength, for example. I may not have a sword, but with these fists, I don't need one. Just look at these pecs, girl. And personality. Trust me, I know a lot about what makes people tick. Why fight when you can talk your way out of trouble? I like personality. I failed. Turns out you're not as charming as you thought, and it shows. The girl is not impressed with your boasting, and the only impression on her face is disbelief. Well, I tried. Hee hee. It's great that you think so. It's good to believe in something, they say. Yeah, I better go. Alright, well, that sucked. Who's this guy? You see a well-built, fit man in faded cap. He's slowly walking on his way, looking at the hurts of the ordained with interest. A fire-dry paw of mermilk that sticks out of the man's rucksack. Waves firmly at you with every step until he sees you looking at him and stops. Hey, a fresh face in our land. Surprisingly but true. Don't try to argue with me, comrade. I've got photographic memory. If I say or see something, it's like it's set in stone. But enough about me. Let me hear you speak. I don't approach me for no reason. I was hoping to ask you some questions. Yeah, I'm listening. Just call me Nicodome. I'm a man of nature. I'm not used to all these redundant necessities. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm me. Yes? Nice to meet you. I'm Nicola, man. You are Crazy Wayne. It's a pleasure and all that. She's something else. I'm a lucky man. What do you do for a living? I'm a lucky man in the sense that I don't have to change my profession after the war. I started as an amateur hunter practicing in my leisure time. Now I'm doing it full time. I walked in the woods and the meadows enjoying what's left of the local beautiful scenery. I kill game to feed myself and to sell it. I hunt moose. I hunt giant ant, murder milk, wolves, hares. What else? Alright, those Arachidos Sovietskus? I have no idea. Wow, that's nice. You get both food for yourself and valuable merchandise. Yeah, I like that one. It's true, and the main thing, mind you, is that this line of work is legal and has been respectable ever since before the war. Lovely stuff. Ask another question. What can you tell me about this place? Ordain is like a rabbit hole between a wolf's den and a bear's lair. It's nice, cozy place, but it's only safe until the wolf and the bear, who are now feeding at other places, start digging in, or until a hunter finds it and places a trap at the entrance. Interesting opinion. Let me ask you something else. Rumors. Far in the north, beyond the marsh, I often cross paths with another hunter, Nikolai. He's a nice guy, has respect for literature, even writes poetry, and when it comes to our down-to-earth business, he's also a wolf expert. I myself only hunt wolves when there's no other game around. Why waste time on them? They're like dogs. You take away their fangs and that's it. There's nothing left of the game. Nikolai has clients in that crazy place who need furs and fangs, so he gets them those. He dragged me into this venture of his once. We went on a wolf hunt together, shot a couple of them, but it took us longer than we thought it would. We had to go back really late at night, and the forest in his area is really entangled, you see. I see, but still explain, please. Yeah. In midday, it's twilight there because the crones of the trees let the sunlight only through an occasional while between the leaves and branches. While in late evening, as it was in our case, it's pitch dark. We had to move pretty much by touch while carrying our load to the glade where we had pitched our tents. But when we finally got out of the thicket, I just froze. My God, it was so beautiful there. In the day, it's a regular glade, but at night, when the star Hesperos has appeared in the sky and is sailing through the thick clouds, pouring its silver light on earth, it's a totally different picture then. The dew on the grass sparkled in the starlight. The water in the spring was like a diamond snake. It murmured and winded around the roots and stones. It made me stop in my tracks. Suddenly, Nikolai poked me in my side. What do you want? Look, he said. You're not the only one charmed by the scenery. I recollected myself if I looked where Nikolai was pointing and saw a silhouette of something lying just a couple of meters away from my tent. Its shape resembled that of a wolf, but that wolf was lying on its back with two pairs of its thin legs in the air, while its head, bent at some unnatural angle, was facing due east. Looking at the sky, at the crones of the trees illuminated with silver light, at the star, motionless, but its fur was all raised, as if it was all aiming upwards. Tell me now, why would an animal want to look upwards? I have no idea. I shouted. The silhouette jumped up and ran into the forest, on all four, befitting a wolf, but with its head still raised almost vertically, as if the neck had been wrought. Some people may shrug at this and say, maybe it's a mutation, the wolf was born a freak, but listen to what Nikolai figured. The hunter clears his throat and, stretching his arms, pronounces with emotion. The years go by and the ages pass, but living creatures are no dream. They keep on living and surpass the laws that once were true, it seemed. I even learnt it by heart, That's how much I liked it. It was a new moon then, and I noticed that on the days when when the moon renews, my brain really begins working 100 times better. That's how it is. Yeah. Ask you some more questions. Change the subject. Alright, let's see about bargaining. Canned meat. Okay. I really don't have anything, so... Oh, the book receipt. Okay, yeah. Alright, I have no more questions. Would I have something in here? Ooh, bookcases. Ooh, and TVs and stuff. Before you stands an aging man with a rolled rifle in his wrinkled hands. He looks at you with mostly concealed interest. Hey, can I ask you a few questions? Hey there, ask away and I'll try to get you some answers. What are you guarding? It's the village treasury. We keep the taxes we gathered here and use them for the common good, and if you got any funny ideas, my friend, I don't recommend trying them out. I may be old, but I'm a great shot. I mean, you no harm. Can I ask you something else? Tell me about yourself. What there is to tell, I'm a simple man. The one thing that makes me special is my aim. I can't hit a radioactive spider in the eye socket from 200 I can hit a radioactive spider in the eye socket from 200 paces. That's right. I don't like to brag, you know, but for many years now, I've won the local top marksman contest. Good for you. Can you spare some more time? Like what? What's new around the village? Nah, all is well. With our head, there's no time to be lazy or sad. He's a great man. I believe in him. Our whole village believes in him, and his faith is what keeps us together. Everything is fine. Yeah, it's fine. All right, let me ask you something else. Heard any rumors? They say plenty of monsters are seen in the south and the north. Giant spiders, wasps, and even more dangerous things. Some even settled near the village. I don't know whether they can breed. If they can, we're in trouble. Dangerous situation. Can I ask you something else? Oh, nope, I guess that's it. Good luck. Before you stands an old man in old, weathered, but clean jacket. He looks around 60, but very well preserved for someone who lives in the wastes. It seems possible that his real age is closer to 70. His strict face is enamored with a short mustache. What do you need, comrade? Questions, of course. I am very busy. Please speak with someone in the village. He turns away from you, letting you know the conversation is over. Oh, okay. Alright, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to save this in this slot, and then I'm going to see if I can't look at the bookcases. Okay, there's nothing in that bookcase. What is this? Short Dictionary of Criminal. An old pre-war book, Short Dictionary of Criminal Slang. Press use. Alright. Do we have... No, we don't have. Alright. Tape and nails. Oh, what do we got here? Oh. And nothing. Beer, homebrewed, a bottle of water. Well, I saved it. I'm going to take the water. I see you crawling in there like a thief. Ah, okay. Let's load. Alright. I was just wondering. Alright, so we'll look. We won't take. Just so I know that I've looked. Yeah, I gotta figure out what that button is. Alright, let's get out of here. Whoop. Before you stands a hardy woman with a strict, large-featured face. She has an apron over her dress. Hello, can I ask you some questions? The woman puts her hands on her hips and nods towards you. Just make it quick. How's life out here? What kind of question is that? Like anywhere else. We work again, and then we work some more. Not unlike anyone else, maybe even better than some. Around these parts, anyone will say the same. Okay, another question. Tell me about yourself. Curious, aren't we? I tend to the household. My husband guards the village treasury. What else is there to say? Well, before the war, I had a field and a garden of my very own. Nowadays, I am not much of an entrepreneur. I'm not a young girl anymore, after all. But my love for my work is still there, keeping me going every day. I got your point. More questions? Yes. What's new around the village? Okay, I guess, and it's the main problem. If anyone asks, I didn't say it, but think that our head, Comrade Kharkov, should retire. In his best years, he was quite the man. You could say he built this village himself, but his age shows more and more each passing day. He can't cope with it all like he used to. Why, just a few years ago, he wanted to build a vineyard, but some seeds from the traveling traders build the arbors, but then the project got stopped in its tracks. First, it was too arid, and then bandits came. Either he names his successor, or we have an election. What we have now, it just can't last forever. That's what I think anyway. I see. Another question? Yes. Heard any rumors? I don't trust the rumors, especially those about the radiation that some people have to spread around. Radiation is the enemy. Sure, but you need to know your enemy, not make up facts about it like Vidir Primitive from the Gooseblands village does. One time he had the story about taking ants. After that, he saw a 6-fingered chicken. Those who believe his tall tales will live in fear, but those who will see that the teller is nothing but a mentally ill person will become more sober about the world they live in. Good for them, I say. I see. Another question? Nope, I think that's it. All right. What's in here? Aha. Ooh, there's stuff there. Before you stands a thin, middle-aged man. His pony blooms with a slightly forced smile when he notices you. Good day for your Perzile. Guns of all kinds. Pre-war, hot off the workbench. Rifles, shotguns, and pistols from the best gunsmith in the West. All my weapons are of the highest quality. If it explodes in your hands, your money back, guaranteed. Questions? The trader seems a bit underwhelmed, but keeps a smile in case you're still like to buy something. I'm listening. How's business? It's fair you must know that everyone in the Waste needs weapons. They're invaluable. Sure, one could run around out there with a shiv, but how far is someone like that going to make it? I'll tell you, as far as the nearest tavern, where the local peasants will bash their skull in with shovels, or to do the nearest ditch, where the wild hounds will finish them off. So how does one avoid that sad fate? By purchasing a quality firearm. And where might one purchase an item of such quality? Well, right here, of course. Feel free to check my math on that one. Another question. Tell me about yourself. What's there to tell? Before I came to this village, I worked in a large city in the south of here. You know, Krasna. It's quite the city, a real center of region. So many people there. Life is bustling. After I got tired of that, I came here for some fresh air, and that's that. You pick up the regret in his voice when he speaks. Clearly, there's something he's not telling you. Let's try the speechcraft. I know there's something you're leaving out. Maybe I can help if you tell me about what's bothering you. And I fail! Believe it or not, I've told you everything. There is simply nothing more to add. The trader coughs and proudly straightens the sides of his dusty jacket. More questions? Yes, I have some more. Rumors. Or no. Tell me about life in the village. Full of hopes and dreams. No, seriously, I feel that there's great potential in this place. What it needs is some laborers and building materials. Do you know that this place used to have a huge metalworking plant and a coal refinery nearby? It was very industrial. But any progress is stopped by the local crime bosses. On the other hand, the local population is pretty apathetic, although nice and kind. They dig in the dirt all day long, but never stop to look at the stars. They have no commerce in their veins. And their rumors. One of my relatives is a caravan driver. He works everywhere from the Red Patron area to the Kharkov Badlands. Well, he told me that there's this abandoned town plagued by some strange anomalies. It seems if you stay there for the night, you have terrible nightmares. Worse, on top stories of the buildings, green lights can be seen, and people hear voices. But that's not even the scariest part. He told me that his caravan had this boy as part of his crew, so one day he comes up to my relatives and says his pal is calling him from into the basement because he found some pre-war tins there. This is your favorite Doc Crazy Wayne, wanting to thank you for being part of this games therapy session. If you think the session was a good one, please hit that thumbs up. You can be alerted to more game therapy sessions by clicking subscribe and hitting the notification button. If you want to help more games with your therapy, feel free to use the links in the description to access the Patreon page or the Streamlabs for donations. Thanks for the collaboration. I hope you come back soon for another.